My name's Scrumsalt, and I'm going to be doing a picture for the Jazza art thing. This is just going to be me making it. Hopefully I can get time lapse. Probably won't, and it'll just be things. Then you use pencil and these colours. They are water soluble pencils, but I'm not going to be doing the water soluble part. So what I'm going to start off is just thinking of some character designs for person wielding the legend of the axe itself. And what I'm thinking of is it's going to be a robot, because if you look at it, it is very sort of robot-y. You've got cables, you've got lights, and you've got the metal, and I don't know, it feels like a futuristic robot. That's another thing. It is going to be futuristic because it's futuristic, and I'm thinking of maybe in terms of the story behind it, because I think we need to do a story. I'm thinking it could be like new material that's just been found, or that the robots have like taken over the world and it's dystopia because they want their own utopia, because we've had our utopia, and they find this metal, this gold brassy metal that's like invincible or something like that, but then it's very conductive of electricity or something, and that's how you defeat it. I'm thinking of that. So I'm thinking of a robot, and now just to sort of think, I don't want to have a human-sized robot. I want a robot that's probably like maybe that tall, from maybe up to here, so a tiny robot compared to this. Just to make a little bit, because like they have super strength or something. So I'm gonna put some more here. So yeah, I'll get back to this in a while. So for now, I'm back. These are just 3 head designs. This one was just basically me getting started back into just thinking of how a head would look, and then this one I started thinking about, well, what else could I add? And I was thinking of the grill, sort of like how he would get rid of air or built up pressure. Then this one I was thinking, let me get it more into focus. This one's my best one. I think I'll color this one in, and I refined the grill just to make it look a bit more meaner. And I thought maybe if I make these bigger and make those more like the LED displays, as well as cameras, as well as adding ears here. And I was thinking actually with this line, which I had as my center of the face line, I could actually use that, and I think it adds to like a segmented robot that has been made of multiple parts that have been like stitched together. So I think I'll color that one in using the same color scheme as the one that's on the computer. This color scheme here, the red, the gold, and the blue, well, the teal blue. I'll just try and find them in here. I'll color that one in, and then I'll get back again. This is a bit grainy, I know. It should look better in my final design. Also, you can still see the pencil marks and everything, but I couldn't get the gold. I tried with yellow. Well, when I say I tried, I was just putting yellow beside it, and that, I don't know. I might that actually looks quite good. I might do this design, the plate work, with that gold and see which one I like, and then I'll get on to designing a body for this guy. 3 bodies, see which one I like the best, and then I'll put them together probably down here as a final piece. So I've tried the yellow, and then I remembered that I've got a paintbrush and I can actually merge them by colouring them. So I've done a little bit on the 2 left sides. The right side I did a little bit more, because it didn't really look like that colour there, and I've decided maybe I will go with this definitely for the axe, because it's the closest I can get to the axe, and I need the axe to be fairly correct. This I might still do, but I'm leaning towards this more because it's more like the axe, and I want both of them to seem to have the same type of metal used. So now I'm going to go on to the body.
So I've completed some character designs for the body. So we did the heads. That head I really liked, but I think I'll go with that colour. But I'm thinking maybe more of this colour to distinguish it from the sword. I started off and I failed quite a bit because I was trying to draw it more human-like. Then I found that I could draw. I found a way to draw it more cartoon-like. The legs were a bit more spread, but then I got that sectional body using the circle bits. Normally, when you're drawing humans, would be for like elbows and stuff. I sort of made it like pivot points. Now I drew this one because I wanted the body to be the same size as the head, but I thought it was a bit too boxy, didn't have enough depth. Another thing I was using was perspective, which I thought was a bit better. I could still work on it. This one's my best one. What I did is that I put a line through because I'm thinking that it will be holding the big axe like that, like actually on the axe, and the little axe coming from its hand there. I like this one much better. Still not perfect. I might just colour it in to see what colours I'll be using. This one as well, because I'm going to add this to this one for what was on the sword, and just see what colours work, and I will then, in this space here, draw the full character with that head and that body. Okay, done a bit of colouring now. I'm still going with the orange. I think the orange will be good to stand out against the yellow of the sword. Here I was just working on what the ring will look like, as well as some lighting effects that will be shining off other parts of the body, as well as thinking about making those red like on the sword. Came on to this one and holding the stick type of thing, got the lighting reflecting off the ring as well as the red thing, and working with a bit of different colours on each of the sides, and I'm pretty happy with that. So now I'm going to go on to drawing the thing, and going to colorate everything, and I'm going to also make a bolder outline. Here I'm just using pencil and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll be able to, no, not hopefully, I'll be using a pen to, a thin line pen to highlight the lines, because I don't want it to be more realistic, I want it to be slightly more cartoon. So I've got my character, my final character, and it has the solid lines, the pen lines that I've done all around, so there was a bit of a mistake here, otherwise it's all good. Stuff that I've added is these sort of pipes that are like connecting areas that need like information passing, such as there and there, or just to hold stuff together, just to make it look more like the picture that I saw, the ring. And what I was thinking is that in between here, because the ring's shining blue, in between the cracks I also have blue, and you'll see what it will look like in a while. Okay, so I've just finished colouring everything, and this is my final design for my character, all the colours, how it's going to look. Also, another thing you can see here, it looks much more better. It looks better because I've managed to get the shading. I've got lighter with the lights coming in from this angle, and darker where it's not, including some shading areas there. And yeah, so I'm very happy with that. The only thing I can say is that here, those red balls there are supposed to be a different colour from here, and it's quite hard to discern, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, so now all I've got to do is now recreate the sword, and I'm going to do it on this other side, and in the perspective I want. I don't want to be doing lots of drawings of the sword. It's already there, I've got the reference pictures, and then I'll get to doing the final piece with this character and the sword. Hi guys, you probably can't see it, that's worse, but on this little piece of paper I've just made a sketch of what I want my scene to be like. So that line there is where my character is going to be, the character I designed. This is obviously the axe, very close. Want to get that perspective, make it look like the axe is really large, have it make it look like it's really long. and it's a first-person perspective. Okay, that's a very bad hand, but it'll be when I draw it. That's you fighting this, and I'm sort of going with the story that the robots take over to make their own utopia. They find the hardest, like a super strong metal. They design the ultimate weapon, the Jazza axe. You are the only one who can go to stop it. You go out to battle and live to tell the tale. So that's sort of my story, to go with it. And this is you in the battle. I like having people involved in, like I like writing stories that are in your point of view and videos and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what my rough sketch is going to be like, what dimensions are probably going to be like. So I will get drawing. Okay, so finished off I haven't finished off, there's some cables, I'm going to do the cables later. So finished off and got it going all the way down to the point at the bottom, coming all the way up and getting very large very quickly. So I'm now starting on the character. I've realised that I'm basically going over that, but that just was there so that I could see and make sure that I was happy with the proportions, so I'm happy with that. This is about the size of the character, and if you look in comparison to that, it's about a third, maybe a quarter of the size. I know what I'm doing. I started with the hand because I knew how big I wanted the sword in terms of the hand, so it is quite close. I'm happy with that. Got the sword going all the way there. We'll work on the hand after finishing off the character. And then I'll also do the cables, and I think by the time I come back next time I'll have it all pinned out and then I'll colour it. So I got all the line work done. This is still in pencil. I'm going to be using a pen now. Got my character, got the perspective, got it very nice, got all the wires, all of that. Very happy with that. Added the hand holding the broadsword, have it snapping over here. Happy with the hand, made it sort of detached. I've seen that in in a few art pieces that I really like. Down here I've got my little taser, and in the story I basically say the only way to stop it is to electrocute it, basically. If you know about lots of science, well, okay, no, just basically like metal's very conductive, like blows him up because he gets too much electricity through him. That's basically the theory. So yeah, now I'm going to go on to using the pen and then go on. Hi guys, yeah, so this is the finished product. I've coloured it all in, got as close to the colours as possible, got my taste down at the bottom, got the light reflecting. I don't know if you can see, but there's this slight blue shading here, brown floor down here, grey sort of sky or ceiling above it, sort of a corridor, narrow, I'm not sure what you're going with it, very minimalistic background, don't want it to be overpowering, and the background sort of accentuates the main part of the sword. That's there to sort of as the character, and then this is more for the good stuff. No, for a little bit added extra feeling as if you're there. The main focus I've got is on the axe, and I'm happy with that. So if you want to see the picture scanned in, all of that, the picture that I want people to see, there'll be a link in the description, and that will go to a Newgrounds account and will show you the picture. So yeah, I've enjoyed doing this, hope to do it again, and this has been me making